Okay, so maybe we should just start by introducing ourselves and then we can introduce the topic and then we can get started.
Okay. Wait,
So,
are we starting? Wait, have you
yes,
started recording already?
yes, so the recording has started. It
Oh, okay.
starts from when
I thought it was at
the
4 p.m.
session starts. So if if attendees can't attend the whole thing, don't worry, we are recording this and we will be putting it on YouTube. Anyways, I think we can start introducing ourselves and then we can start introducing the topic.
All right.
Okay, so my name is Mira. I'm a university student at McMaster in the Health Sciences program.
My name is Johan Milliam. I'm a grade 12 student at St. Francis High School.
My name is Guntas. I'm a grade 11 student at St. Marcelina Secondary School. So our topic today is university and scholarship applications. So a lot of people, STEM fellowship is catered towards high school students. So we are a group of high school students working towards, or university students working towards helping high school students in STEM fields. So our topic today will focus on how to get into universities and how to apply for various scholarships in order to pursue a STEM field. So let's get started. I'm just trying to figure, okay, there we go. So the first topic that we'll go over is how to choose a university and which program is right for you. So first of all, you need to consider the location and you need to visit the campus. And why I would recommend doing that is because you want to know if not only the campus is right for you and not only the program is right for you, but if the campus suits your needs. So going to open houses can really help in deciding a campus. And it also is very important that the campus that you want to go to or the university that you want to go to offers a lot of the programs and the activities that you're interested in. So if you have a lot of extracurricular activities, it's very important that you look at which university also has a great reputation for those. Do your research on the university's alumni. A lot of great alumni could have gone to that university, and if they were in the same field that you're trying to pursue, it can be a really great university. Do research into the university and know what you're passionate about. And ultimately, the program you're applying to should be the one that is most significant to what you would like to pursue in life. And even if you're not sure, do it in a university which really connects with you. So look at the university's motive and what they would like to offer their students and make sure that it is something that you like as well. So find information on the strengths and weaknesses, of the university and make sure that you've done extensive research into the academic focus of the programs that you're thinking of applying. Consider the flexibility of the program that you're applying to. So as I said, it could be in a general field that you would like to pursue that if you're not sure, and make sure that the university will let you switch later on into a closely related or a separate field. And also the cost can be very important for a lot of people. We will be talking about scholarships today and subsidies that could be provided if you're eligible. So make sure you listen to the scholarships part if the cost is something that you're concerned about. So this Johan will be going over.
Okay. So for when to apply, university is a huge choice that you can't depreciate. So being ready means that you've done extensive research into the specific program you're applying for and also the non-academic factors that were mentioned in the previous slide. So that being said, we recommend that you start your research for your application as early as possible and that you make sure that your application is completed adequately, as this is a huge decision. So below are the list of application deadlines for major universities. At University of Toronto, we see it's January 15th, 2020 for most fall programs. At the University of Alberta, it's March 1st, 2020 for most fall programs. At University of British Columbia, it's January 15th, 2020 for all fall programs. At McGill University, it's January 15th, 2020 for all fall programs. McMaster University really varies. We see that in other major universities, there are some exceptions, but McMaster University, it seems to fluctuate from program to program. So this would be something that you would have to look into. And then Waterloo University is March 27th, 2020 for most programs, but January 31st, 2020 for accounting and financial management, engineering, and mathematics programs.
Okay.
So for how to get accepted, so whatever you're choosing to enroll in after high school, do remember that it is a huge decision. And so you should ensure that your application meets all requirements and that it's been completed as best as possible. That's why we say that you should start your research as early as possible. You should also persist in your studies. This is a more obvious one, but you do have to make sure that you meet the academic standard of your specific program. You should get involved in your community, of course, because doing extracurriculars, it always boosts your application. But because even though most programs focus on your grades, there are some often STEM related ones that want to see you've been doing things outside of studying, because this shows you have initiative, shows that even before getting that post-secondary degree and making a full transition into the adult world, you've already been making a positive contribution to those around you.
Yes.
So
we also have a quick question for Mira. Just to introduce you more, what is your university program and how did you know that it was right for you?
So I'm in the health sciences program at McMaster, and one thing that I knew that made the program right for me was the way that they teach the courses is focused a lot on the application of what we're learning. So like in biology, not just learning about all the mechanisms in the body, but how they work together to keep everything functioning and sometimes cause diseases if they're not working properly. And this problem-based learning really attracted me to the program. And even when I started my first week of classes, I knew that it was right for me.
Thank you. That's great.
okay. So just going on how to get accepted. So for example, there are some particular STEM programs will ask you to show that you're prepared to handle the course load. So for example, if you're applying for a competitive software engineering program, you could be asked if you've had any programming experience in a supplementary application, or if you're doing a health sciences. If you're applying for a health sciences program, you could be asked if you've had any lab experience. So for some firsthand insight, we'll ask Mira, what was your experience like when applying for university?
Most of the programs that I applied for required some type of supplementary application. A lot of them were focused on what you did inside and outside of school. So like the clubs that you're a part of, any community organizations, any awards that you won, things like that. For my program specifically, they just asked a bunch of opinion essays. So I didn't, in those essays, you didn't really talk about your extracurricular activities, just it was just meant to show the way that you think. But for most other STEM programs that I applied for, like Western or Waterloo, they were all extracurricular lists.
So you would say that university programs, it's not always based on grades, right? They want to see well-rounded students.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so now we'll be going over scholarships and grants that people can apply to and our recommendations for scholarships. So some of the background on scholarships, everyone is able to acquire scholarships. So if you firsthand believe that you are not someone who's eligible for a scholarship just because of your grades, that is false because everyone has some form of scholarship that could be applied to them. and millions of dollars of scholarships go unclaimed each year in Canada. So there's always a chance, and it's really important that you apply. Even if you think that you might not get it, there's always a chance. So apply when you're in the university. There's no point in applying for scholarships when you haven't heard back from the university. So make sure that when you have, you do apply for these scholarships. Another common misconception is that only grade 12 students can apply for scholarships, but you will find that there are much more scholarship helps also available for undergraduate students. So where to look for scholarships and grants? There's a lot of available scholarships on government websites. This would be responsible if your provincial student aid website, so make sure you go check that out if you are someone who's looking into scholarships now. Some very common and good scholarship websites that we found are scholarships.com and studentawards.com. We also highly recommend to meet with your guidance counselor to get a particular information on a scholarship that you're interested in. Some scholarships require a recommendation from the school. So if you see that, don't be ever afraid to go to your guidance counselor and ask them about it and tell them about why you believe that you're eligible for that scholarship. So high school students will often have scholarships available for students intending to apply to university, and these are especially scholarships for things such as community service or for other things that you've done that scholarship is towards. So there are a lot of things that you can get scholarships for, and these might be unexpected. So if any of these apply to you, or if you believe that you have some of these traits, make sure you look into scholarships. Or even if you think that you do something interesting, just look into if there's a scholarship available for that. So you can get a scholarship for studying a foreign language or for playing an instrument. So if you're in school band, this should be something that you look into. You can even get scholarships for being vegetarian, believe it or not. You can get it for bowling well or speaking Klingon. I think I'm saying that wrong. Grades and extracurriculars aren't always everything. The people who get the scholarships are the ones that take the time to find something that they're passionate about, or something that thing that the person who's giving the scholarship or the company that's giving the scholarship is really passionate about too. Like even Burger King has a scholarship. And the scholarships are looking for characteristics that make you stand out and something that aligns with their reason for giving that scholarship.
So for how to spot out scholarship scams. So people know that students are often quite desperate for any financial assistance as they enter university, which is extremely expensive. So unfortunately, there will be people online who are looking to take advantage of that. So that's why we listed some tips to spot out potential scholarship scams. So if a scholarship requires an account registration or you have to pay when you're applying, then it's most likely a scam. Or if they tell you you've won a scholarship fee, but you have to pay some sort of fee, then it's probably a scam also. Or a website that guarantees a scholarship, but you need but there's a membership fee, that's also probably fraudulent. So overall, any scholarship that involves you paying money of any sort for whatever reason is probably a scam. Like this may seem quite obvious, but there are thousands of students falling for these each year because again, they are desperately searching for any help that's available to them, right? And you'll find that legitimate scholarships will usually pay directly to your school. So how to increase your chances of winning scholarships. So scholarships are not solely based on academics, so don't be discouraged if your grades aren't excellent, but it is still a boost to have high grades, so do make sure you stay diligent in your studies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that you have extracurriculars you're passionate about, and not only have extracurriculars, but be able to explain why they connect to you and why they make you a stronger applicant. And you should also take the time to write great essays, because it's the small things that are going to make your application stand out, right? And that's your chance to be original and say something that leaves a mark. You should also double check to make sure that you meet all the requirements. for the application. So whether you're applying, this is whether you're applying for university or scholarships, you always need to make sure you've completed an application correctly, or you could end up disqualified right off the bat if you haven't. Should also apply for as many small scholarships as you can, because if you really want that assistance, right, you have to go do the work, put in the effort necessary, right?
Yeah, so which and how extracurriculars can boost your scholarship applications. So scholarships are usually looking for well-rounded students, and this means that if there is one thing that you're extremely passionate about, such as an extracurricular, they're looking for that you also have those academic achievements. And if something that you are really good at are academics, they will also usually look for someone who takes part in a lot of extracurriculars. So non-particular scholarships don't require a specific type of extracurricular activity as long as you show that you're doing something outside of school and are able to express the lessons that you've gotten from chosen activities. So they will require you to write essays or give a feedback of what you've done in those past 4 years of high school that you would deserve a scholarship for. Community service and volunteering are also great ways to boost your scholarships, and some scholarships fully focus on volunteering and community service. So if that is something that you're passionate about, or if you're looking to get a scholarship, get involved in things like community service and get your volunteer hours very high. Because these things show that you've been going out of your way to help people around you, and this also makes you a more attractive applicant. School involvement is also great. So if you're not able to go out in your community, get involved in your school and show that how you've made your school a better place. Because if they know that you've made your high school a better place, they will know that you'll make the university also a better place. And school is a great way to get great extracurricular activities. If there is an extracurricular activities that your school doesn't offer, but you think that you're very passionate about it and you would like to pursue, and you think other students will be interested in it as well, go out of your way to start something. And that is also something that applicants and universities and people who are giving out these scholarships will look at as very great. Internships, especially for particular scholarships. So there are fellowships and scholarships you can take part in that will require you to intern for a specific amount of time that you can get a scholarship for at the end of that internship. Also, athletic activities are great if you have a lot of success in it, and you can receive a lot of scholarships for that. And part-time jobs, because that shows that you're balancing things other than the school and your extracurricular activities, and you're helping out your family and are looking towards saving money for university. How to write a good application essay. Many scholarships will ask you for a short essay or a supplementary application to show why you should receive that scholarship. So in this, you have to talk about yourself, your activities, and why, all in all, you should receive the scholarship. Entice the reader from the beginning with a good beginning statement, and just be honest. Be authentic to yourself and stay true. And a lot of people tend to go off topic and talk about other things that they think will boost their chances of getting the scholarship. But if a specific question is asked, make sure you stay on topic. And reviewers will be going through thousands of essays, so make every sentence count and don't just fill in words. And then make sure you proofread, and because you want to send your best possible draft, and you want to make sure that they are getting the best version of yourself.
So here we have a sample scholarship essay that we're going to analyze. So the question was, what does this scholarship mean to you? And it gave a sample student answer. So the student talks about his personal situation and why this scholarship would make a difference in his life. So what makes this essay stand out? So first, he has a good hook that just grabs the reader from the start, makes you interested. The phrase success relies on initiative. So right off the bat, he's implying that he's motivated and he's ready to make an impact on those around him. He's also using good vocabulary, and he made sure there weren't any grammatical errors. And also notice the brevity of the essay. He's concise and straight to the point, but still he doesn't lose impact. every sentence, it's short, but every sentence can be linked back to the question, and he answered it quite well. So that would be an excellent scholarship essay. So this leads us to common mistakes when writing scholarship essays. So sometimes they can be unnecessarily verbose. So of course it's important to sound professional, but you don't want to overdo it and fill your essay with jargon. So if you wouldn't use a word in a conversation, then you should probably consider replacing it in your essay. Another mistake is going on for too long about your life, because of course the selection committee, they should have a decent idea of who you are by the end of your essay, but you should try to focus on life experiences that address a topic in the most impactful manner, right? Be concise. We don't recommend you write as if you're in English class, because the reviewers, they're expecting to see you express yourself freely. They want to see authenticity. That's what they're looking for. You don't need to do the typical introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and conclusion essay, right? Just write the way you feel. Though you wouldn't necessarily expect it, but probably the most significant mistake here is ignoring word restrictions. Because scholarships, when they set word limitations, it's to see how well can these applicants persuade us in this short space, right? And they select okay, every single applicant will have this much space. So if you don't respect that, then you could be automatically disqualified, and that's not something you want. Lastly, you should also consider your audience, because a lot of people recycle and readjust their scholarship essays, which does save a lot of time, but you do have to make sure that you're still considering that you don't forget that your essays are always being reviewed by different people, right, with different backgrounds. So you have to ask yourself, what are they looking for in an applicant? What experiences, what characteristics, things like that.
Okay. We did receive a question on the website, the social media platform. And the question was, are grade 11s able to apply for scholarships? So as you mentioned earlier, grade 11s are not able to apply for scholarships, and you can only apply for scholarships once you get into a university. So some general mistakes in scholarship applications that we want to go over is that a lot of people forget to go over their application, and they forget to proofread. So going the extra mile will never hurt you, and make sure that your application has been completed to the best that it can be. And not ensuring that you meet all the requirements for the application is another very common mistake. So before applying to a scholarship, make sure you go over everything that the scholarship asks for and that you meet all the requirements. So a lot of scholarships will have checklists for what the student needs to meet in order to get the scholarship. And a lot of scholarships are actually meant for students who show the economic need. And if you are someone who doesn't fit that cut, make sure you don't apply to that scholarship so that you're not taking away for someone who possibly needs it more than you do. But if you do fit in that barrier or that group of people who would need that scholarship, it can boost your chances of receiving it. So the third point is not making sure that you've uploaded your files correctly. Believe it or not, this is one of those seemingly small mistakes, like ignoring the word count, that usually can disqualify you. So if it asks for a PDF, don't submit a Word file. Some scholarships may ask for files to be uploaded in a specific format, so read carefully and read the instructions and then submit your application. Also make sure that you've checked that you uploaded the correct document by opening it and proofreading it. You don't want to send a previous draft or a wrong document altogether. And make sure that you've double checked that you've used the correct contacts for your information as well as the people that you're submitting it to. It unfortunately is a common mistake, and if you happen to win a scholarship but have given the wrong email, you might not even know that you've received it. So make sure you don't fall for any of these, and that your application is completed to perfection. So, Mira, we have a question for you. Do you have any experience applying for scholarships? If so, do you have any tips? And even if you don't, what would you recommend?
Yeah, so in grade 11, or sorry, in grade 12, I applied for a lot of university-based scholarships. So, for example, like the Western National Scholarship, things that you would get if you went to a specific university. And I thought those were really interesting because it allowed me the opportunity to learn more about the university and what it offered. But one downside to that is that if you get the scholarship, but you like a different program, then it's like it gives you a hard decision to make in the future. And some advice that I have is definitely start early because a lot of my scholarship applications were due in February and March. And then, so that was really hectic for me in terms of application deadlines for university programs and then scholarships and then schoolwork on top of that. So it can be a very stressful period, but it pays off. It definitely pays off in the end because even if you don't win a scholarship, your writing ability or your communication ability improves so much.
Okay, thank you. So, when to apply for scholarships? So, there are scholarships available at any time of the year, but as Mira mentioned, most of them happen during May and after you receive your application result. It is a common misconception that scholarships are only available to grade 12 students going into university. Don't forget that they would be available for undergraduate students as well. So, after you're in university, make sure that you still are looking for scholarships if you need them. If you see a scholarship that you're eligible for and interested in, make sure you apply as early as possible, since you never know what commitments could arise as the deadline approaches. So it's really just telling you not to procrastinate because you might find other scholarships that you could also be eligible for. And as Mira mentioned, you have all the schoolwork going on and other things. So make sure you can get the application done as soon as possible to the best of your ability so that you're also giving yourself a lot of time to edit it and make it a lot better. I think that's it. We didn't receive any other questions that we didn't go over. We received a few questions, but most of them I think we went over in our presentation. Mira, is there anything that you would like to recommend for applications for universities and what your experience was like, and what would you recommend for students who are applying?
Just in general, applying to university can be a really stressful time just because there's just a lot to do in 1 year or less than 1 year. And just my advice to all incoming grade 12s into university is to work hard, but make sure that you prioritize your mental health as well. It's really important to get enough sleep, drink water, all those cliche mental health things, but those are really important to do throughout grade 12.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I think a common question that we've also received is what grades the universities will look at, and it really depends. Most of the universities, I know for the University of Toronto, for specific programs, they will look at your grade 12 midterm marks and some of your grade 11 marks, but usually universities look at only your grade 12 marks. So grade 12 is the year that you should be trying your hardest, not that you shouldn't be in your previous years, but make sure you work really hard in grade 12, right, Mira? I think they look at grade 12 marks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So overall, we would just like to conclude by saying that university applications can be really stressful, but hopefully you know a little bit more about it now. I would also really recommend to attend university fairs when you are nearing your time to apply for universities. Do your research into universities. Don't waste your time applying to universities that you know you wouldn't like to go to because it doesn't align with your mindset. And apply to universities and try really hard for universities that you are very passionate about. And never put yourself down because university applications can be, you might not think that you will get into university, but you end up doing really well there. As for scholarships, make sure you don't fall for any scams and apply for scholarships as early as possible. And if you follow these tips, we hope that you will get into a great university and receive scholarships for it. Is there anything you would like to add, Johan?
No, I think you went over it all. If anyone has any questions, you can ask on the Instagram post that pertains to this webinar or on the Facebook post that will be posted soon.
Okay. Mira, do you have any final comments?
No, that's everything.
Okay, thank you for everyone who watched, and we will be posting this webinar on YouTube, so if you need it for reference for later, you can check it out there. Thank you for everyone who came, and thank you, Mira, for being a great panelist. Bye.
All right.